Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Record with
Judah,
Kirk,
and Gabe.
Today we are going to be talking about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, which is, in my humble opinion, if you want my not-so-humble opinion, which is about to come out right now, it's not the greatest piece of cinema we've seen.
Yeah, so we did just have our video on
Starfleet Academy, and Starfleet Academy might be better, like, in the 2 episodes, which we definitely didn't. We liked 2 things.
Yeah, there were some moments in there
that were really good
that brought up our average score.
Well, a lot of really bad.
Put our score of that versus our score of this season of Lower Decks.
We'll
get into the specifics of it. But what's interesting to note is this season of Lower Decks is what 20 times 10, 200 minutes.
Yeah.
That's about as much as we got in Starfleet Academy.
We got like 180. Yeah, we got like 180 minutes of Starfleet Academy.
And we enjoyed it is kind of
Starfleet Academy
more. Comparison.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Minus the animation to live action.
That's true.
Yeah, and there's more stories in these 10 episodes versus the 10 episodes, or the 2 episodes rather of Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, that's true.
Is also certainly a more serialized
But
thing.
It does have a core story, which I felt like this kind of sorely lacked. There's like I got overarching thoughts. Like I didn't get a core to this season. You know
I felt
what I mean?
like it was all the filler episodes for all 5 seasons were just cramped into season 2.
That's fair,
Gabe,
but that's also how this style of TV show kind of runs. Like I've watched a couple other animated TV shows like this, and they generally have the first 2 seasons or so are kind of build up into the actual story.
Sure, but we liked season 1 a lot more.
We did.
So.
That's true.
Well, they got to get you hooked.
Yeah, and I feel like season 1 had actual character arcs. Like I can't really name you a character arc of this season.
And that's what's interesting going into season 3 is we will have a new character that will have some of that story arc stuff.
Yeah.
And
we already have set up, yeah.
Yeah, another thing was a lot of people found Mariner in season 2 to be very lacking, particularly because we had her story arc, like you mentioned in season 1, of she's this totally rebellious person that doesn't want to follow orders and doesn't want to rank up because usually something goes wrong and, it's just kind of a very depressing situation for her, and so she's not very motivated by that. But we were supposed to have some progress in that by the end of the season 1.
Yeah.
And so
they
kind of erased that by the start of this season, and then they kind of try to redo that again this season. And I think even in season 3, again, they just reset her and try to do it again. And so that's another massive
kind of frustrating,
people usually had. But we should probably start actually getting into episode by episode. So, Gabe, episode 1.
Quick thoughts.
Yes. So this one was really, honestly, I kind of enjoyed it. It's called Strange Energies. And the plot is they're going out doing their standard, second contact type dealio. You go down to a planet, you explore around, and there's, again, like Kirk said, Rebellious has kind of restarted with Mariner, and so, but there's this weird kind of situation between her and her mom that's like...
Yeah, they're trying
to be friends, but it's really weird, and so eventually Mariner's like, I'm gonna clean stuff.
Down on the planet.
And you're like, oh, okay, Mariner's cleaning things, I'm not sure how that's relevant, until she cleans too good and awakens ancient structures because coincidences, I guess.
Yeah.
And it shoots a basically beam of power straight at Ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he becomes Ran God.
Yeah, I mean,
that's about,
And we do get a funny, almost like Galactic, or Galactus type moment where he's like, he grabs the saucer section of the Cerritos and just
tries to take a bite of it.
It was pretty funny.
His head gets detaches from his body, which is not like the body is also still doing stuff down on the planet. Gets massive, goes up to the ship and just hop.
Nom nom.
But despite being a godlike being, apparently Starfleet shields are just all that. So,
that's crazy. I didn't know Starfleet was built like that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the whole episode.
That's basically the whole episode. It's like Kirk said, it feels very filler. It was a good filler, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've seen much worse
It's true.
filler episodes.
Sure.
So if I have to watch a filler episode, I'd choose this one over most others. But
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where it's like, okay, it was entertaining once. I don't really need to see it again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is something we've actually said on the podcast, but certainly when I've been talking to Judah a little bit, we've noted how older Star Trek series have like 22 episode seasons, like Voyager, TNG, right? Versus 10 episodes usually, and with Lower Decks, it's 10 episodes that are 20 minutes long because of it being animation and all. But even like Strange New Worlds and things like that, they're 10 episode seasons.
Right.
And we're talking about like filler episodes would be really good.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all out with the budget of them, and you don't have to have all of your main actors and that you're paying this whole time for all these different scenes and things like that. You can just have filler episodes.
Yeah.
And
so filler episodes are good.
But
I don't want to take away from that, but it just feels like the whole
in a
season.
10-episode season, and especially an animated one where it's like it's not really the same. You know what I mean?
And why does the first episode have to be a filler?
Yeah.
Having 5 to 10, 5-ish filler episodes in a 22 episode season makes sense. Having 1 or 2 filler episodes in a 10 episode season makes sense. Having 10 episodes in a 10 episode season be filler just sounds like you're shooting, like launching one shot.
Yeah.
Minis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Judah, episode 2. You noted just a minute ago before we started recording that you liked this episode.
I did. I do like episode 2, 3, and 9. I particularly enjoyed of this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of the other episodes really got me at all. I didn't really enjoy them. Episode 2 I really enjoy I forget his name, but the replacement character they brought in for Boimler on the Cerritos, the guy that him and Mariner's dynamic as they have to go through the mission and deal with clearing out the I guess he's a miser. Has a great collection, and they're overseeing.
This whole episode is very much a references episode to TNG.
Yeah,
so you'll understand a little bit of that because we will soon be doing season 1 of
TNG. Yeah.
But yes, there was an episode where there's all these collectors basically that try to collect everything. In that episode, they're trying to collect data.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so in this, it's basically just reference heavy. There's all these different collected pieces in the background and things like that. There's the skeletal remains of giant Spock, I believe,
which is great
in there somewhere. But yeah, so the reference of there being a collector is,
and then
just a reference.
and then the Boimler plot with the Titan and them having to escape using the clones and his clone surviving.
Yes,
is pretty great too.
Yes, and that's one of the things that isn't quite so filler about the season is the Boimler stuff with the Titan.
Yeah,
because we do go more into that with, I believe, a fair amount in season 3, as well as there's some aspects of that even in season 2 here.
Yeah,
and I believe it's the final season 5 of Lower Decks as well, is heavily based on there being a clone of Boimler as well.
Which is great.
Those are important things. It's just they're kind of background events.
Yeah. Especially in this episode. Though I did enjoy the main story of it. Yeah.
And you also said episode 3 you liked.
Episode 3 I did like. This is maybe the best episode. We'll always have Tom Paris. It's true. I liked all 3 of the storylines in this episode. I love Boimler getting trapped with only Tom Paris memorabilia, basically, to keep him company. Yeah. I love Tendi and Mariner's dynamic and all that fun, hijinks and side adventure and exploration of, I forget what the race is. They are, what is Tendi? She's
Orion, yeah.
I like the exploration of the Orion stuff. They seem really interesting to me. Even in making fun of it, it probably gets taken seriously at some point somewhere in Star Trek. So making fun of it, it's pointing back to it. Yeah. And I enjoyed that part. And then
Gabe, really quickly, I know you've seen, a long time ago you had seen Voyager, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this was obviously a big callback to that. I want to hear any of your takes on this.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's seen Voyager knows Tom Paris.
Yes.
And you're like, okay. And so it is kind of cool to see the reference to the fan base through Boimler.
Yeah.
In having Boimler be so excited about Tom Paris. Just like so many people would be excited about meeting Patrick Stewart and any of the other main actors. It's like if you came face to face with Data,
right,
and you were a big TNG guy, you would freak out and go crazy and want him to sign your memorable plate.
Yeah, and that's basically what this episode
Yeah,
is.
and that's what it's about. And, so
and
it's
the
really cool.
salamander reference as well.
Yeah,
Salamander reference is good.
That's so gross. It's the worst. I mean, I love that it exists.
Yeah.
But it's also horrible.
Noting one more thing about this episode before we move on, because I think we're going to do the next 3 in quick succession, because none of them are really standout.
Sure,
but noting one more thing about episode 3, Rutherford and the Shax thing was like really
that was
funny.
This episode. Yes.
Because it's like such a funny side gag. It's like, you can't ask him about how he came back.
And
It's
what's
great.
really funny is we don't actually get the majority of what he heard from Shax about, dying in the afterlife and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We hear about the Black Mountain.
Yeah.
We know about the koala.
We
and
do
that's
know
kind
about the
of
koala.
all we know. So there's Black Mountain and there's koala. What do those things have to do with each other?
We'll
Who
find
knows?
out one day.
But
All right.
4, 5, and 6.
Quick one-word summary. Kirk, what's the one-word summary of episode 4?
I can't say that. Deviancy.
Deviancy? Okay, episode 5, one-word summary. Gabe.
I guess duplicating.
Yeah.
Duplicating. I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of fair. All right, one-word summary for episode 6. Ooh. That's a good one. I think the only thing that's coming to mind is the Rutherford stuff. So
Yeah.
lacking vision. So like no vision. I don't know.
Yeah.
Blindness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a couple of other things of note in those episodes before we quickly move on is in episode 4, we have some distrust forming in the group, and it gets resolved with it's distrust of Mariner. It gets resolved, but it does kind of set some of the characters back a little bit more.
Yeah, we're kind of always doing that, though.
And then episode 5 is very much a Mariner being more like rebellious and stuff. Side plot that's going on in there, though we do get references of Kirk and Spock, which is cool.
We do.
Really cool.
And how both Kirk and Spock had been previously rejected entrance to a party as well.
That's
so
true.
It's like,
They're
these
like
are
Kirk and
like the
Spock,
greatest
yeah.
people in the world to them, and it's not that bad. So, and they meet Spock as well. They do go on to meet Spock after this.
They
I
do.
believe it's sometime in season 3 that the crossover is, or maybe season 4 or something like that. But
Yeah,
the crossover itself is in Strange New Worlds.
that's true.
Yeah.
Which we already covered.
Which we have covered on this podcast. You should go back and watch it. That
Yeah.
episode hit 100 views, which thank you
It
so much
did.
for that.
Yeah.
And actually, that reminds me, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell.
Comment down below.
Go to Off the Record JK on Instagram.
Yeah, and we know there's 130 odd people that
Yeah.
are not subscribed that watch us. So
I
if
believe
that's
it
you,
briefly jumped to 190, but that may have been just a brief thing.
that may have been
It's-
briefly,
yeah.
but 130. Scroll down, make sure you're subscribed. You know.
I mean, you want to.
yeah, we know we're on to.
Yeah, if you're this far into the episode,
Do it.
you definitely do. So,
Yeah, do it.
the Pac-led stuff in The Spy Who Among Us
Yes.
is very important, going certainly to the end of this season and the beginning of next season as well.
Yeah.
And it also leads directly to episode 9, Which Douche, which is a more interesting episode, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So that is something of note as well in episode 6, other than our really descriptive one-word summaries. Yeah,
All
so
right.
Judah 7 or Gabe 7? Who wants to get that?
I'll take 7. 7, if I'm remembering correctly, which
The robot?
is
Yeah.
Robot overload computer.
yes, where they get trapped on the planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really liked the subversion there because I was genuinely expecting Boimler to like side with the robot and cause some
Yes.
kind of maybe he caused the burn or something, like, you know what I mean, like with the robot.
Now that you know what that
Yeah,
is.
now I know what the burn is. But
I was
no.
definitely, even I've seen this season like at least twice.
Mhm.
I kind of forgot about that, and so even when I was rewatching it for this
You're like,
video, I was like, yeah, no, Boimler is definitely an idiot here,
Yeah,
and he's like
Boimler's-
going with, and
yeah.
like Mariner is gonna have to fix it or something like that. But
Yeah.
no, actually, he was being smart,
Yeah.
which is definitely a rug pull.
yeah, it's definitely rug pull. This is a more fun episode. I feel like the ones we're skimming over are ones that we
Yeah.
either don't have much to say about or just didn't really like.
Yeah. And
So
again, this is kind of filler episode as well, but where a lot of these filler episodes kind of don't become filler episodes is that they're setting up something for future seasons.
Yes.
that's true.
This is a setup for, it might
Future.
even be in season 3. Gabe, have you seen season 3 yet?
Yeah, I've actually seen the whole show.
Okay, yeah. It was a longer
they're-
while ago for me, but this does come back up.
It comes back up a couple times, I think, throughout the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Kind of off and on type of thing, and you don't realize where things connect until later on.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that this is the starting point.
And actually, one of those things is distantly related to what eventually became a reference in Starfleet Academy as well, with the exocomp robot, little like flying robot.
Yeah, isn't that voiced by?
I'm not sure.
Who's the host of the night?
Oh no, that's not.
That's a different. No. Okay, that's different.
That is just like one of the announcer people that you'll hear in the background. And that, but yes,
I thought it was
one of those little exocomps, Peanut Hamper, is referenced with the existence of whatever they named it, which is a similar name.
Almond basket.
Yeah,
almond basket. Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Again, some of these things like they come up later, but it's just like this. Every episode of the season is just the starter of something.
It's
that
all
comes
set
later.
up.
Yeah,
it's like if you gave 10 seasons worth of setup, episode 1 setups in just this season.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what this is.
It's very much what it is. Yeah.
Well, so Excretus is next. Gabe.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. Very, very filler.
Yeah.
Not like barely anything plot related happens.
It'd be like a really, really good Voyager filler episode.
Yes. it gives like we're traveling from the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah.
Vibes, and so we've just got to waste.
Delta, but sure.
Was it Delta?
It was the Delta Quadrant. Yes.
I don't know. I made up it's been a while since I've actually seen it.
There were 4 options. So.
I mean, I picked one.
Wait, there's only 4 quadrants?
Quad.
It's a quadrant. Quad means 4.
Quad.
All right,
Your dad is a classics teacher.
Can we cut that?
Anyway, this one, basically, like anything, you've got to have some sort of inspector come around, and this inspector is coming to look at the crew and see if they're doing things right.
Yes.
And so, tests. Everybody got to do tests. Go. Except the tests kind of invert roles, and so all of the command staff are doing lower decks stuff, and all of the lower decks crew are doing command staff stuff, and you're like, man, everybody sucks at the other people's jobs.
Yeah. It's
horrible, except Boimler, who's just consistently getting better at rescuing baby Borg.
Yeah.
And you're like,
basically.
I didn't know this was part of his skill set. But dude is a legend at beating the Borg.
Yeah. And so he's about to actually 100% one of these things
and so,
when we learn something.
So he's sitting at like 99% on this test, which means like he's rescued all of the baby Borg and like 30 normal Borg and has started to play chess with Borg Queen. And you're like, and like talk to her or whatever,
Yeah.
Not literally chess, but like,
chess.
Yeah. You get what I mean.
Question mark.
And then they find out that the inspector lady that came in to run the tests is actually not wanting to lose her job.
Yeah.
And so decides she's just going to fail the Cerritos because they do a bunch of random BS. And so they sit there and they comm badge into Boimler and they're like, hey, Boimler, you just got to keep running that test as much as you can. Do not fail or get a 100.
Yeah.
Anything in between, just keep doing that. Meanwhile, they take the whole ship over to like, what was it? It was some sort of major anomaly.
Yeah, well, multiple major anomalies.
Multiple, and that kind of like do crazy stuff with the ship. And obviously the Cerritos is not actually in danger, but if you haven't been on any of the Starfleet ships
I would
when
also
they're
say
going,
it is actually in danger, just not for them. Because those are the kinds of things that they do all the
right,
time.
yeah, like it would be in danger, except they know how to manage the situation.
Right.
Inspector Lady does not know they know how to manage the situation, so she's like flipping out and like peeing her pants and all the things.
Yeah, until she relents.
Until she's finally like, fine, I won't fail you.
Yeah, crazy.
And
that's the end of the
and that's the episode.
Yeah.
That
Episode 9.
Your favorite.
I listen. Yeah, I said episode 3 was my favorite earlier. Episode 9 is my favorite. Real quick, we have what are they called? Vulcan. We have a Vulcan ship.
Yes.
We have a Klingon ship. We got our humans, all the lower decks crew,
and the Packlet.
And the pack. Well,
that only comes up right at the end.
And the Borg.
Right at the very end.
Both of those are at the end.
Best one.
That was the best one. It was really funny. But the Vulcan one was interesting. I liked that character. I was invested in that. the Klingon one was so like
that's a proper story.
If you gave me like a Klingon anime about like a character rising up the ranks of Klingon, like I would watch it just purely based off of this episode.
The whole Klingon part of the episode is its own like self-contained, really good story. And by the way, that character does come back.
Yeah.
But that's actually like a story. It's one of the first like fully self-contained actual stories we've had in this season.
Yeah.
And how much of a relief is that?
It's like so good.
I'm gonna be honest though, on the Klingon show, like just give me a show that's about a specific Klingon ship, and I don't care if you focus on a character. Yeah. Like, just I want to watch a Klingon ship and just watch the Klingons fight each other for supremacy
potentially
while doing cool space shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like that would just be really entertaining.
Yeah. Even potentially, we had an episode in TNG where Riker was doing an exchange program, and so he gets sent over to this Klingon ship, and he's there for the whole episode. And I can't wait to get into whatever season that's in, because that's a really good episode. But something like that too, where you send like a regular human over, and it's not just a one-day thing. It's like a 1 year exchange program or something like that.
Yeah.
And we follow a storyline like that.
That would be
really
cool.
Or
actually, as an anime, that could be really cool.
That
or sending a Klingon over to, like, and not a Worf Klingon who goes through Starfleet. Like, I mean a Klingon, proper Klingon.
Not to be rude to Worf.
As in, like, was trained through Klingon, you know, whatever Klingons... What's Klingon's navy called?
Well, each house has a...
Oh, they have their own... Okay.
Kind of.
But, like, they're trained in Klingon...
Ways,
right?
Yeah.
A lot more. And so they walk in and, like, somebody says something slightly mean and they just stab them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that.
Great.
That's
on
what
the Star...
yeah.
On, like, you know, not Enterprise.
Yeah.
But...
Okay.
Yeah.
Finishing up summary of this episode.
Oh, okay.
Klingons were controlling the Packlids. The whole plot of the Klingon one is this lower decks Klingon, like, boots, like he's licking everybody's boots, and he finally like stands up to the captain and kills him, and they leaving the Packlids to be beaten by the Vulcans and Starfleet. Basically, that's like the entire summary of the episode. So like, there's like dumb little
and
stuff.
that's when we get the lower decks of the Packlids.
Yeah.
And it's just like these 4 Packlid characters sitting in a cargo hold somewhere doing nothing, and then the red alert alarm they have is red alarm.
Red alarm. It was so annoying, but it's like
intentionally.
It's like a normal lower decks episode, and the Vulcan one is played as humorous, and the human one is played as humorous. The Klingon
one for you though, that was very. I was feeling a lot of like I'm with to Lynn.
To Lynn, yeah, like
I was very much like with to Lynn. You don't have to like be all that Vulcan about things. Sometimes you can listen to your gut. But then I was thinking, wait, Judah is very much the Vulcans in this episode talking about Spock when we're going for a stranger world. That's not logical of you.
I was like, that's not logical.
Like that?
Why?
That's not very Vulcan of you. You are out of line.
Yeah.
And what was they said? Something along the
instincts.
lines.
I think it's something about instincts.
You have completely lost control.
Yeah.
When she just like mentioned a feeling of some kind, they're like, you have completely lost.
It was
control.
really funny.
And that was.
I was enjoying that.
Judah.
But they played the Vulcan and the human ones for funny, and the Klingon one is like, this is actually serious, done in the art style of this Rick and Morty style for the show, and it's like, how is that cool? But dude, the if I could have just a lock screen of him stabbing the captain while they're doing the battle in the background, I would have that. Yeah. It's pretty epic. All right.
So moving to episode 10, we have first contact. I'll be a little brief about this one because
we don't
care much about this episode.
Season
There's
finale.
Very important at the end that we'll go into. But basically, this is the Cerritos is finally going to be part of a first contact mission, but it's just going to be kind of a backup ship to this Excelsior, I believe, class ship that's going in there. They don't want like 2 to come in at once because that would maybe look like it's a war fleet of some kind. Versus if one's coming in, they can do the first contact piece and all that. But Cerritos would be like right there behind. It wouldn't even be second contact. But then there's this like big solar flare, and it knocks out all the systems on the Excelsior ship, and it starts hurtling directly towards the planet because it's caught in its gravity well. And the Cerritos has to try to come up with a way to get past this like ionized field of a destroyed asteroid, but it can't. I guess it's like spread out enough that it can't go around or anything. So eventually, what they decided to do, through help of like cetacean ops and things like that, which we finally actually see after it being referenced even all the way back in TNG.
Yeah.
And we see them take out all the outer hull plating on the ship so that they can fly through this thing without like magnetically attracting the debris. And then they go and they save the day. They do the first contact stuff. But what's really important is right at the end of the episode, and there was a lot of conflict during the episode because the captain thought that she was going to be getting a promotion.
Yeah.
And I think she was actually going to be getting a promotion. There was a lot of conflict around Mariner, found that out, and then told the bridge crew, and they're like, "Why are you leaving us?" And then, and who's going to be the captain? Ransom, obviously. First off,
yeah.
It's not that complicated, but anyway. Trying to be fast here. Anyway, but at the very end of the episode, when some people from Starfleet Command come into her ready room, she's like, "I'm going to turn down the promotion offer," and then they put her in handcuffs. And apparently, the Pakled homeworld
has been destroyed,
blown up. Which I think we know that they blew themselves up because we had a bunch of stuff of the Klingons, and that was actually in the last episode, Wish Douche. The Klingons were like arming them with these weapons that could destroy a whole planet, and they were going to try to destroy Earth with it. So I think by this point we do know, obviously, the captain didn't do it, but they did it to themselves.
Yeah.
And that'll be going into first episode of next season, which it's very reminiscent of Strange New Worlds season 2, episode 1, 2. One of those. They do basically the same thing, if you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So,
that's wild.
We will get to that when we get to it. But overall thoughts on the season. We kind of went into it a little bit at the beginning, but Gabe, I think you're a little bit more positive about it now, so let's start with you.
I mean, I'll go ahead and give it 2 ratings. I'll give 1 for what, keeping in mind what it is. And for that, I give it a solid, 3.5 out of 5. Because it's a animated TV show. It's not
7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Sorry, I use 5.
Yeah. You guys do a scale of 5 in Comic Stack, but then we usually do a scale of 10 in the rest of
My
these.
bad.
So.
But then, if we're putting it in comparison with the rest of Star Trek, it probably falls flat around at 5.
Okay. Judah?
It's so I can tell you the plot of basically 5 of the episodes.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I just watched these less than a week ago.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the plot of some of them. And it's it's that kind of show. So it's kind of like a 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 10.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. No, it's 5 out of 10. So cuz there's 10 episodes and I remember 5 of them. Yeah. And the 5 I remember okay, but I don't remember the other ones, and I'm pretty sure I'm blocking out some horrific memories in that case. So it's not very good. It's middle of the road. I really hope the next season's better because I was so excited to do this season.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much right there with you. I also just watched these recently, and I had already seen them multiple times in the past as well. And I was struggling even as we were just about to record this. I was like, what happened in that episode? Highlights of the season are definitely 2, 3, and 9.
Oh yeah.
And there are some moments in there as well, but it is very much a middling season. And again, it might be right there with Starfleet Academy so far.
Yeah.
As a whole season versus the first 2 episodes, though. Again, both about 200.
Yeah, Starfleet Academy could.
Although I actually,
as a number though, really quickly, I would probably put it at a 5 out of 10 as well.
I was going to say, I know I wasn't able to make it for the Starfleet Academy one, but I think I actually enjoyed it better than y'all. And
really?
Oddly enough, apparently the opposite
Kirk.
things that y'all did, because I heard that Judah and Kirk, they preferred the early part of the
first 23 minutes.
First 23 minutes of episode 1.
Yeah.
I thought that part was horrendous.
Really?
The acting was absolutely trash, in my opinion.
That's crazy. I feel like that's objectively wrong.
The effects were bad. It was
if you could really quickly, if you could give then those first 2 episodes a rating so people can compare what you're rating this versus
episode 1, purely because of kind of the real weird intro stuff, probably a 5.5 out of 10. But episode 2 I actually kind of enjoyed. I'd give it a 6.5.
That's basically the opposite. So that we give 7 and then 6, I believe, something like that. So our averages,
I really enjoyed
give a 5 for episode 2. We both give a 7 for episode 1. That's
so
crazy.
Our averages are about the same at about 6.
That's crazy.
Which is interesting. It's just on opposite things.
We get something to discuss after this show.
So our rating averages are higher for that than season 2 of Lower Decks.
This is true.
Which is crazy because I would never have thought that.
Yeah.
Because I like Lower Decks overall, so
yeah, it's kind
of crazy to me. But
with all that being said, we here at Off the Record are wishing you a good morning, a good evening, and good night. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.